Here we have a new, unopened Medion Titanium MD8386. It was originally sold in Aldi back in around 2005. This computer combines a Pentium 4 with HT technology, a gig of RAM, a 320GB hard drive, and an integrated TV tuner, promising free view reception and coming with a TV remote and a free headset. This desktop has sat unopened since 2005. You can see its features there. So it's got a DVD-ROM, it's got Wi-Fi, it's got Bluetooth, a card reader, 6 USB. This would have appeared to be quite a high-spec PC at the time, even if it did come from Aldi. It has an ATI graphics card with 128 megs of memory, and it does have capacity, one free bank to add another stick of RAM, presumably up to 2GB of RAM, maybe even more. This desktop did have a 36-month warranty, but that would have expired back in 2008. So, moving to the side, you can see all the ports that were available on it. It says every port you could ever need, including parallel, which was starting to be phased out at the time, DVI and VGA, which were still prominent at the time, not so now. But it also had SCART and S-video output, because it's what was made to be a media center computer. It has all your card readers, and it can even read a smart card, which isn't so much use unless you use this for business. It came with a load of software, including some bloatware, some decent software, so the usual Cyberlink Power DVD. It's got an antivirus called eTrust, which don't seem to be terribly prominent now. It's got Nero to burn your discs, it's got Power Director as well to edit your videos. All sorts, and the traditional Microsoft Works 2005, which of course now is just Microsoft Office. Works isn't its own separate thing, but this did come with Word. And AOL, because you could not escape from AOL. Recovery is provided by Symantec, presumably a disk image with Symantec Ghost, a bit like the old E-Machines computers. And if we check the back, it's more of the same, but we do have a little hole in the box there, which can't really explain, but let's hope everything inside is intact. And if we go to the fourth side of the box, you'll see it is more of the same. So it is time to unseal a computer that has remained sealed since 2005. Let's start by getting a screwdriver in, carefully pull the tape. And the same on top. Carefully going through the tape. Just make sure it's open. And then let's see what condition it's in. It did smell a bit musty when it arrived, but hopefully it's just the cardboard smelling and the computer hasn't had damp. So, we have what I assume is the keyboard on top. I can go to one side. Now, this is a keyboard, that must have been cables. There's a box for a keyboard. Nothing else in the side. And we have the computer itself. Now we're left with a box of goodies, another box of goodies, or a goodie, and the desktop itself. So, opening up box number 1. Microsoft Works 2005. We have backup applications for it. We have a Cyberlink Power DVD activation card. I have a couple of batteries. Not sure whether these will work or not. They don't seem to have an expiry date. There we go. 2009 they expired, probably not going to work. Have a fancy remote actually, loads of buttons on there and branded. We have one of the tuner cables or aerial cables. The promised free headset, and as cheap as I thought it would be. I don't know how it'll actually feel to wear one of those. The power lead, that's a little bit sticky. for some reason. Good old modem cable, probably won't be using that in this day and age. Of course, the remote is for Power Cinema. A little scrap of paper for the antivirus. The OEM edition of Windows XP, Home Edition, with the backup disk instead of a Windows XP disk. Registration card for Medion, and a little bit affected by damp actually. A familiar AOL card, you don't see that often now. Box number 2. For the keyboard, of course our batteries, 2 pairs, March 2011, I hope for these. March 2011. Of course, this did come with wireless keyboard and mouse, so here's the base. Actually a Logitech branded one, so it shouldn't be too bad. Of course, here will be the mouse. Logitech branded. So it might actually be decent. Quality palm rest, or is it a little bit thin? And the keyboard itself. Logitech branded keyboard, so this might actually be quite nice to type on. Not old stock, it does have the Windows XP logo on it, not the older one. But that's the peripherals. Onto the desktop. It's not actually a bad looking desktop. You've got your DVD writer, DVD reader. You've got what I assume are your slots. That's fancy. Let's have it again. So you press to release, and it slides down. Only got all the slots you need at the front for your media use. Actually, this does say it won a design award in 2003. So you go, XP machine, Pentium 4 of HT technology, if you remember the adverts. There's a power button feel, it's not plugged in. Nice clicky firm power button. And moving on to the side, we have massive space for a massive fan in there, which we'll see in a moment. And moving on to the back, there's all the slots you could ever need. This would have been quite a high-end motherboard at the time, I can assume. It's pushed in a little bit there. Probably have to push that plate back out then once I open this up. Got a power supply, of course. Nice big grill at the back for it. You've got your connectivity down there, your VGA or D sub. It's got modem, it looks like, combined with your TV card. That's interesting. Here you have your SCART, your S-Video, and your composite. Not a bad looking case. And for sake of completeness, the other side is grey. Moving to open this up now. Open for the first time in its life. Interestingly, we have silica gel in this computer. Does feel a little bit damp. Why would there be silica gel in a new desktop? Honestly, this does not look like it's been used. We have the fan there. And not a bit of dust on it. Not a bit of dust on any of this. So, how I can explain the silica gel being in here, I don't know. With all your standard stuff. Interestingly, you have hard drive 1 there. You actually have hard drive 2 there. This does have 2 hard drives. I don't know if I missed it on the box. 2 DVD drives. Nice big fan there. And it doesn't look like we've got any leaking capacitors so far. Things are looking pretty straight in here. Nothing bulging. Nothing to be overly concerned about. So hopefully when I power this up it turns on first time. Not quite sure if that power supply is held out as well. We will find out. It has a new computer smell. That could be capacitors. I'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Well, I've got it all wired up. I don't really know what to expect. I've got my keyboard got my mouse, got my trusty Trinitron, and I am just going to fire it up. So I'll flick the switch on the back, hope nothing goes pop. Good, nothing yet. Press. Turn off straight away. That's a bit better. Oh, screen's turned on. And it works. Actually works. Oh, this is exciting. Been years since I've eaten this last. I think that hard drive hasn't spun up in about 16 years. Be nice in focus. There we go. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't do YouTube videos. I don't have a proper camera for YouTube videos. I don't have a camera that likes these old screens. But my new screen doesn't do VGA. And I don't have adapters. But so long as you can see the screen, hopefully hear the out-of-the-box sound. Hear that hard drive fighting for its life. Pair the mouse. That's more like it. Ah, doesn't that bring back memories? Let's go. Ooh, let's see. Can't leave without seeing this. Let's go. Oh, what are you installing? Gotta get that bloatware on. Although, CA are a legitimate company, and back then, didn't really have the Windows Defender or Windows Security that you've got now. Side note, that keyboard is actually quite spongy. I'm surprised. Not bad. The keyboard worked out of the box. The mouse I had to pair again. Computer's still got a slightly musty smell to it. Can't tell if it's the caps. So far it's running A-OK. The weird thing where you had to turn it on twice. I remember that from my old e-machine though. That always did that. Never knew why. Turn it on for a second, goes off again, and then it works fine. Every time you restart, same thing again. There we go. I see action. I can move my mouse. Surreal that this computer's... There we go. Surreal that this computer's a whole 10 years newer than the screen. Well, that's interesting. Surprised it's not set up from the start. Oh boy, here we go. Same thing, aren't they? But we're in. What we got? Internet Explorer, Internet Explorer 6, AOL free trial. We can possibly go past without clicking on that. Let's get this out of the way first. We got Windows Media Player. What else? Got network. Bloody hell, this thing is Wi-Fi. And I can't see my router. Typical. Yeah, I know. What are you? Monitor files, okay. Keyboard, 3D audio. Uh-huh. So. This brings back memories. Nero Express, Power DVD. The usual stuff. Quite a bit here. So we've got the software for Bluetooth. I've never heard of that one before. Focus. I've heard of that. Antivirus offer. What is bloatware for you? Usual games. Home cinema, that's going to be an interesting one. It's a whole Cyberlink library. All our favourites. Office XP. Ah, that must be from Microsoft Word there. Got Works. Got more Works. Nero, of course. I remember that from back in the day. I don't know what Smart Manager is. Videon, what is that? Gonna have to come back to that one. And all our old favourites. But let's go to see our computer. See our specs. Really forgetting this one. Is that in there? Yes, it is. So, we have Pentium 4, 3.2 gigahertz, 1 gig of RAM. Knew that much already. Focus. No unknown hardware. That's always a good start. Disk drives. We have 2 of those Western Digitals. That's interesting. There's our graphics card, Radeon X740XL. Got our 2 DVD drives. Floppy controller, I'm not so sure. I might put a floppy drive in this if I keep it. Anything interesting? It's got that old CRT there. It's got loads of stuff for the modem in there. Network adapter. Does indeed have Wi-Fi. That looks like a Realtek. That's about it. So where to next? Gotta give AOL a look. AOL version 9, a classic. I remember back in the day we actually went through the screen and actually connected, and what a waste of time it was. Ended up using dial-up internet just because we were on AOL. Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, that's smart. If you cancel, and you click on continue because you want to cancel, it'll continue rather than cancelling. You've got to click on cancel and then cancel. That is smart of them. Remember all this? Not much use nowadays, is it? Got ourselves Windows Media Player. Let's have a bit of nostalgia. Don't think that works anymore, don't think that works anymore, don't think that works anymore. Next. And go for it. I'm slightly surprised I don't have a vendor-specific background. Ooh. I'm sure the sample music is somewhere, but there we go. Windows Media Player. Be curious what version came with this. Tell me, what are you? Windows Media Player 10. I haven't seen that one much. Used to 11. Is there no background? What is that? Now, why would that come through with the backgrounds? That's just strange. But there is no Medion specific background. There's this one. More used to its professional cousin. Let's go back to normal. And one my bliss. There we go. I remember breaking Windows back in the day. Let's go back. I was curious about this one. A video editor. Well, this is going to be exciting for another day. How was video editing back in 2005? How retro is that? Not that long ago, but a world apart. One last thing to look at, because my arm is getting pretty tired by now. Office XP. Bring it on. Do we have our assistants? Yeah, I'm user, I am you. Yeah, I accept. Do we have our assistants? And there he is. The man, the myth, the legend. Life just isn't the same without you, buddy. Well, there's one more thing before we go. How many people here haven't seen Microsoft Works in forever? Let's get stuck in. But where to start? I suppose through this. I agree. Nope. And yep. And there we go, Microsoft Works. How long's it been? I don't know where to begin with this. I remember when I was a kid and I didn't know what I was doing, I loaded up Works Money. And I had no idea what I was doing. I will leave it well alone for now. I think that's it. The most amateurish rushed video through a new XP build. But I'm sure there'll be more to come if anyone wants. Got a fully working... Yeah, thought I was dead for a sec. Fully working computer. They'd sat... Oh, that's that one. They'd sat unopened for 16 years. I realised I never got round to looking at the hard drive situation. Let's give that a go before I go. And sure enough, we have some drives here actually. So we have a 74.5 gig. Is that an 80 gig drive? I guess so. I guess those might be on the same. 68.6. Oh, but then we've got 149 gigs there. Oh, of course, 150 gig, isn't it? 140, yeah. So we have 2 drives here. That is not a bad computer. And I paid about 90 UK pounds for this. And I don't regret it one bit. If you got this far, I don't know why, but thank you for watching. And I hope you like my computer as much as I do.